If you have a problem with your flexible HVAC ducts, first watch this video, as I'm gonna show you how an end-to-end Crawlspace solution should look like. We recently received a call from a potential client in the Triad area who complained about an unpleasant odor that felt a bit like ammonia from the HVAC registers. He had also seen pieces of woolly material blown out of the registers. At that point, we already had a strong feeling about the problem, but we needed proof. The first thing we did was checking on the registers and the flexible ducts. We found little pieces of pink, yellow and black insulation material and, as expected, a lot of mouse droppings in the ducts and in the air distribution boxes inside the Crawlspace. This happens when small rodents break into the air circulation system and chew on the interior layer of the flexible ducts and build a nest inside the distribution boxes. This releases little pieces of insulation into the air circulation system that eventually ends up in your house. And we trace the odor back to mouse urine. I know it's gross, but what was even more gross was to hear from the client that he had replaced the flexible ducts only 2 years prior, which indicated that unfortunately the contractor had not addressed the actual root cause of the problem. And that is why replacing the flex ducts should be the last step, not first. We started by setting up mouse traps in the client's house and caught several of them overnight as they broke into the client's kitchen through the HVAC registers. Yes. In the darkness of night, they used to have a festivity in the client's kitchen, and the client had absolutely no idea. The next morning, we started by sealing all entry points to the Crawlspace and from the Crawlspace into the house. We used chalk and foam to block any possible entry points to the Crawlspace and to the client's house. This is a crucial step that the prior contractor had not performed. And this must be done meticulously, because an adult mouse can easily fit its body through a hole that is the size of a pen. Just think about how easily they used to pass through the narrow openings of the registers to let themselves into the client's kitchen when everybody was in their sweet night dreams. In addition, we determined that the 11 damaged Crawlspace vents are entry points and replaced them with new metal vents and double-caulked the inside and outside perimeters of vents. At the request of the client, we customized and installed this automatic powered vent he had bought from Amazon to control the moisture level in the Crawlspace. Nice move. As we were doing the work, we noticed a broken refrigerator line that was dumping the condensed water right in the Crawlspace rather than transporting it out. This results in high levels of humidity, which is what we don't want. So we got it fixed, like this. The existing vapor barrier was almost non-existent. It was a low-quality 4mm plastic barrier that was 20+ years old and literally disintegrated. This caused a lot of humidity buildup from the wet ground in the Crawlspace that created an unpleasant odor. But more seriously, it degraded all the insulation materials to the extent that they would literally fall apart upon touch, and our client demanded a full solution. So we removed all insulations, the old plastic barrier, and the compromised flexible ducts. Then we performed a thorough cleanup and leveled the ground using this tiller. Measuring the humidity at 80%, we installed a dehumidifier and we let it run for 4 consecutive days until the humidity level reached 40%. We removed approximately 10 to 12 gallons of water every single day. Next, we laid the new vapor barrier. We use this special 8mm white reinforced barrier that has an embedded mesh with exceptional strength. And believe me, tearing this thing apart with bare hands is impossible. We cut it into custom sizes and covered all columns and walls by 12 inches and extended it by another 12 inch on the ground. Once you lay the barrier, you have what is called a partial encapsulation. We secure the barrier to the ground using these metal pins and use heavy-duty tape to cover all overlapping seams. And then we attach them to the wall and columns both mechanically and also by this special glue that will hold it very tight to the walls and columns. Right then, the client paid a visit and he was so impressed that he even joked about renting out his Crawlspace. The next step is installing the new insulations. We installed R19 batt insulation per North Carolina building code requirements and secured them with metal wires spaced approximately 16 to 18 inches apart. This new insulation will pay for itself in just a few years as it dramatically reduces the electricity bill, which is eventually also good for the environment. The air distribution boxes went through a complete restoration process. We removed the old interior insulation, scrubbed with metal brushes, pressure washed, sanitized, and resealed all seams and connections with mastic paste and re-insulated on the inside and outside to obtain an R8 rating, which exceeds the current R6 rating required by North Carolina Building Code. Not only this helps with thermal insulation, but the surprising immediate effect was noise reduction from airflow. The client later became extremely pleased with how quiet their HVAC had become. We did the same restoration with the return vent, which is located inside the house, and completely replaced the old and smelly insulations. And last but not least was the flexible ducts. We had discovered that the old ducts were not the right size, which resulted in heat loss. It also had allowed the little mice enter the ducts through the little gaps that existed at the register booths. We supplied the correct size R8 flexible ducts that exceeds building code requirements. We installed them by using this duct sealant to seal all the connections. Then we used this metal tape and double zip ties to mechanically attach to the booths and to the distribution boxes. This vinyl straps was also used to support the ducts. A final inspection and cleanup, and here we are. Here is some before and after photos. At the end, our customer was extremely happy, which is all that matters to us. We truly take pride in our work and we appreciate every opportunity to prove it over.